Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So today we are going to talk about multiple topics and we are first going to talk about Lautaro Martinez. So there has been a report that came out about Lautaro Martinez about 1 day ago, and this is what it says. Barcelona has been following him for 3 years and could have signed him in 2018 for less than 10 million, but Inter bid on 25 million euros. There was a second attempt in 2019, but Icardi's transfer to PSG made the Argentine star untransferable. And so the more news that we hear about Lautaro Martinez going to FC Barcelona, the more we realize that Barcelona has been following Lautaro Martinez for a very long time. And the reason why I'm saying this and the reason why I believe that this is so important is because people have been telling me, why does Barcelona want him now? Just because he has had a couple of good months with Inter Milan, when that has not been the case. Lautaro Martinez has been doing this with Inter Milan for the past 9 to 12 months, and so this is nothing new to him. And we can see here, Quique told Ole that the talks of Barcelona's interest is true. No one's called us, but we know that they have been looking at him strongly. It's true that Barcelona like him, and he did say this back in the summer of 2019. So this has been happening for a very, very long time. And the other thing that I want to point out about Lautaro Martinez is that he has been in a very slow and steady incline. And let me tell you why this is very important. Because every world-class striker that has been on a steady and slow incline to the top usually ends up having longevity and ends up being a world-class striker. Because when you do go on that steady incline road to the top, you end up having no pressure. You have more time to build a strong foundation for yourself. You have more time to analyze and learn the game and how strikers play on the field and how they should approach every game. And you build that strong mindset when you are under that pressure. The strong cases of these is like Ibrahimovic. We did not know about Ibrahimovic when he was 19, 20, 21 years old. He really started to show up once he turned 27, 28 years old. We can also talk about Aguero, and we can also talk about Lewandowski. Lewandowski wasn't a world-class top-tier striker when he was 19, 20, 21 years old, but by the time he hit 26, 27, 28, that is when we all started to talk about Lewandowski. And when he was in that phase at 26, 27, 28, when the world was talking about Lewandowski, he was ready. He's like, I have been training for this moment since I was 20 years old. So this is what I mean. This is what makes a good striker. And Lautaro Martinez is in that section. He fits in that category. And what makes it even greater is that if Lautaro Martinez does end up joining Barcelona, he will be under the mentorship of Luis Suarez and Lionel Messi. The bad cases, when you are not in that slow and steady road, you usually end up being like a player like Robinho. We all know what happened to Robinho. Robinho came at 20, 21 years old, or I believe even younger, like at 19, 18 years old. And when people were praising him, when people were expecting a lot from him, he ended up choking and his career was cut short. We can even talk about Bojan. Bojan was an excellent player at the age of 19, 20 years old. People were saying that he could be right next to Lionel Messi, but he ended up choking again. And now, looking at Bojan's career, we don't even know where he's at. Another case is Ronaldinho, and I know that he did win the UCL. He did have glorious years with FC Barcelona, but it could have been longer. He could have stayed there at the top a lot longer, but Ronaldinho was not ready for that. He was not equipped. He did not have the right mindset, the right preparation in order to stay at the top for a very long time. As soon as he turned 27, 28 years old is when he began to decline. And usually when you get to that age is when you actually start establishing yourself as a great world-class player. And we do not want that to happen to Lautaro Martinez, and I don't think that it's going to happen to Lautaro Martinez. He is on that path where he will be at the top for a very long time. So I would keep an eye on Mbappe and Erling Haaland. Those are two players at the moment who are praised immensely, and who knows how they will be by the time they hit 26, 27, 28 years old, because they have taken that road where we go asleep one night not knowing who they are and then waking up knowing that they are the biggest stars in the world. So just something to think about. Lautaro Martinez is in that perfect area where we can say that yes, he's a good player, but he's also not hyped like Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe. So speaking about Lautaro Martinez, I also want to bring out this other report that came out by Sport, and it says Inter want only cash for Lautaro Martinez and don't want to accept any player to bring his price down. Barcelona believe they will end up accepting in the end if they involve Arturo Vidal, whom Inter have interest in signing. And so So when I read this report, you know me that sometimes every time I read a report, I want to see if this is actually false or true. And I'm going to have to say that this is false. Inter will be looking for a striker. We know that if Lautaro Martinez does leave Inter Milan will be in panic mode. They do want to replace him for another striker. That has been their objective for a very long time, because if we look at their past history, they went from having Sanchez then to bringing in Icardi, and ever since Icardi left, they're like, no way, we're not going to let go of Martinez either. And that is why it is very hard for Barcelona to bring in Martinez, because Inter Milan does not want to leave empty-handed. So knowing that, right, I believe that Inter Milan will approach Barcelona saying, okay, if we give you Lautaro Martinez, we want one of your players. And that is why I say that this report is false by Sport. Inter Milan will be looking to reinforce their attack if they let go of Martinez. And we do have the players to exchange for Lautaro Martinez. And the two players that we could potentially transfer to Inter Milan, and we know that Inter Milan would happily take them, it would be Antoine Griezmann and Felipe Coutinho. And that would be for a whole other separate video, but those are the two players that I can see in exchange for Lautaro Martinez. Now moving on to the next topic, and this is where things get very, very interesting. We are going to talk about Alaba. So there has been a rumor going on and a report coming out from Bild, and it says this: Barcelona have reignited their interest in Bayern Munich player David Alaba, who is 27 years old, and want to sign him for this summer. Alaba's contract expires in 2021 and has no interest in renewing with Bayern Munich and is ready for a new challenge. So this rumor that we are talking about here is nothing new. If you guys have been watching football for the past 6 to 11 years, you would know that Alaba has been rumored to come to FC Barcelona for the past 4 to 6 years. So Barcelona has always been a huge admirer of this player. And if you guys don't know who Alaba is, just to give you guys more context, he is a left back who plays for Bayern Munich. He has scored a total of 30 goals, and that is what makes him really stand out, is that even though he is a left back, he does score a good amount of goals. He knows how to play defensively. He has everything you ever want from a left back. And if we do ever bring Alaba to Barcelona, he will be a direct competitor to Jordi Alba. And at 27 years old, he is at the peak of his powers. My only concern is that this player, if we do decide to bring him in the summer, he is worth at the moment around 70 to 73 million euros. And by no means is this price tag cheap, especially knowing that we are on a mission to bring in Neymar and Lautaro Martinez. So Alaba will be a huge price to go for. And by 2021, when that contract is over, who knows what his price tag is going to be. But at the moment, if Barcelona do want to get him in the summer, it's going to be very, very expensive. So reading this report, right, is it true that Barcelona does want Alaba in their team? Yes, it's true. It has been going on for the past 4 to 6 years. But is Alaba set to move from Bayern Munich to FC Barcelona? Well, there was a report that came out not too long ago, and David Alaba spoke to GQ Gentleman's Quarterly, which is a magazine, and this is what he said: and my whole focus is there. I feel very well in Munich, but in principle, I could also imagine taking a different path. That remains to be seen. I don't think about that at the moment. So could David Alaba join FC Barcelona in the summer of 2020? We're gonna have to wait and see. I don't know about this because at the moment it doesn't make sense financially, and I also don't know if Alaba is fully committed into leaving Bayern Munich this summer. Now I want to move on to Quique Setien, and we haven't talked about our coach for a very long time, but I do want to call him out because there has been a report that came out, and this is what it says: Quique Setien will still lead the team next season. Barcelona are satisfied with him and have total faith in this coach. So I do want to call him out, and I do hope that Quique Setien does get another chance next season. I really do hope that Barcelona give him another full season, because in this season he did take charge of Barcelona midway through the season, and we have to remember that Quique Setien is taking charge of a broken team, a team that has been experiencing very hard losses. He is also managing a team that is very thin. He does not have a lot of resources, and at the moment the season is in danger. We are going through a pandemic, and so Quique Setien has been having a very bumpy season, and it would only make sense to give Quique Setien another full, long, and healthy season so we can see what Quique Setien could bring to FC Barcelona. We all know that Quique Setien is a huge admirer of FC Barcelona. He has always dreamt of coaching FC Barcelona. And if given the full season again, I believe that he will do wonders at the club. Now, moving on to the next topic, and I want to speak about Francisco Trincao. So there has been a lot of buzz over this player. He is a 20-year-old Portuguese star that plays for SC Braga. He did sign with FC Barcelona this year on January 31st, and he is set to join Barcelona and be with the full first team squad on July 1st. And so 2 days ago, or I believe 1 day ago, he did receive the Player of the Month of February, and at the moment he is considered as a rising star with tremendous quality. He has been described as the second striker, the player who plays right behind the striker. He loves to create play, and he is favorited to play on the right wing, and that is where I begin to have a lot of questions. Knowing that Trincao plays on the right wing, do you guys see next season Trincao taking over Messi's spot? Not only that, but what does that say for Dembele? Dembele is also a player who plays on the right wing, and bringing Trincao and knowing his hype and knowing that we're going to have to play him next season, what are we going to do with that situation? Is this telling us that Barcelona is moving on from Dembele? And that's also my concern, is that knowing that Trincao might be used heavily in Barcelona next season, this is exactly how players get crushed, and we did talk about that in the first topic in this video. But this is exactly what happens to young stars. You are put in a position where people praise you, where people expect a lot from you, and then once you do come to FC Barcelona and the world is watching you, waiting for you to do something, that is when young players get crushed. They aren't prepared for that situation, and I hope that this does not happen to Trincao. Trincao will be playing in a much larger audience compared to where he plays now, and he could prove me wrong. He could just go into the camp now and play amazing, and then he proves to everyone that he has what it takes to be one of the best players in the world. So I could be wrong, but there is a 90% chance that players like this do end up failing in the end, because when you are praised in this way, and when people are saying that he can become the next Ronaldo, you are expected to deliver. And we do have a few words coming from Sam Pinto. He told Bleacher Report this: "It's one thing to be a teenager who has come through Barcelona's youth ranks, but it's another to arrive as a big signing. At the Camp Nou, he will play in front of a much bigger crowd. We have seen Luis Figo triumph there for a while other Portuguese players didn't do so well. And so we must be very careful on just how Barcelona will manage this player. I do want to see this player succeed. I know that he has tremendous quality, but having tremendous quality and having the right mindset are two completely different things, and they are two things that a player must have in order to achieve the most success." So thank you guys for watching. That is it for today's Barcelona daily news. I also want to say happy birthday to Antoine Griezmann and Jordi Alba. I believe Jordi Alba did turn 31 today, and Antoine Griezmann turned 29 years old. So happy birthday to them. I hope that they do have a great birthday, knowing that what's going on in the world is very tragic. But happy birthday to Jordi Alba and Antoine Griezmann. I wish you guys the best, and I wish everyone here on YouTube the best. And again, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.